Good evening, students. Am I audible? Okay, fine. So in the last class, we started with the physiological concept. Okay. Today we are going to discuss the other physiological concept, that is breathing and exchange of gases. Okay. So breathing and exchange of gases. Fine. So before starting the session, let me know whether this chapter has been completed at your college or not, so that I will understand how much concepts I have to brush up. Then I have to proceed with CET questions. Yes, please ping me in the chat box whether this chapter has been completed at your respective colleges. Yeah. Okay, Hema. Glad to know about it. It is already completed. Fine. So in the breathing and exchange of gases, we mainly concentrate on the concept of, okay, respiration in human beings. Okay. So in 10th standard also we learned regarding it. Fine. So in detail we will learn in PUC. So here you can see the diagram of it. Fine. So the diagram has been shown here. I'll just brush up some concepts, then we will proceed with the questions. Okay, now. So nasal cavity is here. Nasal cavity, right? Yeah. Then pharynx, okay. Alveoli, or we can call it as air sacs, right? Then right lung we have left lung, diaphragm, bronchi and bronchioles, right? So bronchi, or we can say singular, it is bronchus, fine, bronchioles and left lung. Okay, so this is the what we can say the respiratory system. Next we have is next we have to concentrate on the partial pressure. So how the respiration takes place? We know that it is by a simple process called as diffusion. Okay, so it is by a simple process which is called, just a minute, which is called diffusion, right? So what do you mean by diffusion? The transport of the substances from the higher concentration to the lower concentration is called diffusion. So in that we have to concentrate on a partial pressure. So what do you mean by partial pressure? It is a pressure exerted by the individual gas in a mixture of gases. So the air what we respire, okay, from the environment, right? So this air does not contain only oxygen. It contains many other gases. It contains a traces of helium, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, argon. So these all will be present in the air, right? So in the mixture, in this mixture, the pressure exerted by an individual gas, let us say about oxygen. So then it is called as partial pressure of oxygen. So partial pressure of the oxygen defines the movement of oxygen in the body. So how much oxygen has been moving in our body? Suppose when you go to the hospital, due to some sudden issues, like you may feel weak suddenly, so you will fall, what we can say, unconscious, like that. So they will see the percentage of oxygen in you. Means they will check the partial pressure of oxygen in you. They will just put that stapler like thing here, then they will note down. So during corona also, most of the doctors used it. They used to find the oxygen level, right? The amount of oxygen in the blood determine partial pressure of oxygen. So how much oxygen is present in our blood, so that will show the partial pressure or pressure exerted by the oxygen. Fine. So when we come to the mechanism of breathing, breathing is a part of respiration. Okay, ನೆನಪಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. It is not a respiration, it is a part of respiration, we can say. Yes, YouTube students. So it involves expiration and inspiration, right? Expiration involves explaining the air from the body, means moving out of the body. Inspiration means taking inside the body, right? Inhalation involves contraction of the intercostal muscles, that is the muscles attached to the ribs. What do you mean by intercostal? Here you can sense your ribs, so the muscles will be attached to the ribs. So when you inhale, right, so what happens here? There is a contraction. Okay, no? I'm sorry. This increases the volume of the chest cavity and creates a pressure difference between the atmosphere and the chest cavity or the lungs. So this pressure difference, what happens? This enable the air to move inside the body. Okay, what happens in the expiration? When you release out the air, what happens? Everything will go inside. Relaxation. Intercostal muscles will relax and the thoracic volume will be relaxed. So this increases the pressure in the lungs, due to which air rushes out from the body. So this is how air enters in and rushes out in the body. Inhalation and exhalation. Right? Fine. So here you can see in the diagram. So during inhalation, what happens here? Just see the this one. So here ribs are there. Okay, diaphragm contracts here. You can see the diaphragm contract. So what happened here? The what we can say, the space has been increased. So what happens here? There will be a breathing in or inhalation. So when there is an exhalation, what happens here? Again, the ribs will be like this. They will relax and the diaphragm relaxes like this. See that this is a diaphragm. Okay, this is a diaphragm here. Then the chest contracts so that the pressure of air in the lungs increases and we will release the air. Okay, so this is about breathing in and breathing out of air. So the next one is transport of carbon dioxide in blood. How the carbon dioxide is transported in the blood. The first one is the carbon dioxide will be dissolved in the blood. Second one is it binds to the hemoglobin pigment and it is carried as a bicarbonate ions. Three steps are there. The first one is it is dissolved in the blood, then it attaches to the hemoglobin, then it is transported as a bicarbonate ion. About 5 to 8% of carbon dioxide is transported by dissolving in blood plasma. Next, when carbon dioxide bind to the hemoglobin, carb-amino-hemoglobin, just make a point here, carb-amino-hemoglobin is formed. Okay, carb-amino-hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a pigment we know which transport the oxygen and carbon dioxide. When carb-amino-hemoglobin reaches the lungs, carbon dioxide is released into the lungs. This released carbon dioxide can expelled out through the expiration. Next, most of the carbon dioxide, it is transported in the form of bicarbonate ions. Howda? First of all, carbon dioxide diffuses, means enter inside the RBCs and it converted into carbonic ions by an enzyme. Remember it, carbonic anhydrase. What is carbonic anhydrase? It is an enzyme which convert carbon dioxide into carbonic acid, where in red blood cells. Carbonic acid ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? It dissociates into, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಡನ್ ಆಗಿ ಬ್ರೇಕಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಡಿಸೋಸಿಯೇಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಡೌನ್ ಅಂತ. So it dissociates into bicarbonate and hydrogen ions. The bicarbonate ion formed is exchanged from the red blood cells with chloride ions. ಅಂದ್ರೆ chloride ions ಒಳಗಡೆ ಬರ್ತವೆ, bicarbonate ions RBC ಇಂದ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ತವೆ. I'm sorry. So this is called as, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ? Chloride shift ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. Okay na? So when blood reaches the lungs, bicarbonate ion which is expelled from the RBCs binds with the hydrogen ion to form carbonic acid, which is converted back to carbon dioxide via carbonic anhydrase. So lungs ಗೆ ಅದು ರೀಚ್ ಆದಾಗ RBC ಇಂದ ಬೈಕಾರ್ಬೋನೇಟ್ ಅಯಾನ್ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಅಯಾನ್ ಜೊತೆ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕಾರ್ಬೋನಿಕ್ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. Carbonic acid, again, it is converted into carbon dioxide. So this bicarbonate system acts as a buffering system to regulate the pH of the blood. So ಈ bicarbonate conversion ಏನಿದೆ ಇದು ಬಫರ್ ಆಗಿ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಯು ಲರ್ನ್ಡ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಬಫರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಬಫರ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಏನು? ಇಟ್ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ಸ್ ದ ಪಿ ಎಚ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಬಫರಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? ಇಟ್ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ಸ್ ದ ಪಿ ಎಚ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಬ್ಲಡ್. Okay, this is about transportation of carbon dioxide. Now we will stop at here. Now we will discuss some questions. Then again I will explain you transport of oxygen. Fine. So let us proceed with the first question of today. Lungs are enclosed in periosteum, perichondrium, pericardium, pleural membrane. Yes, YouTube students. Lungs are enclosed in. Yeah. So we know that lungs are the main respiratory parts, right? So these are enclosed in what? Yeah, tell me, who is going to answer quickly? I think most of them are absent today due to midterm exams, right? Okay, lungs are enclosed in. Lungs ಯಾವ್ದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ enclose ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ? ಬೇಗ. Yes, YouTube students, lungs are enclosed in. Okay, Tejaswini answered it. Hema answered it. Good. Yeah, what about others? Okay, let us check the answer here. The right answer is option D, pleural membrane. What we can call it as pleural membrane. Okay, so this is what the covering of the lungs we can say. So let us discuss more about it. So each lung is enclosed in two membranes. The two membranes are the pleural membranes. The inner membrane is called visceral pleuron. Outer membrane is called as parietal pleuron. Inner visceral, outer parietal. A very narrow space exists between two membranes, between two, what we can say, visceral pleuron and the parietal pleuron. ಆ ಸ್ಪೇಸಿಗೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ ಪ್ಲೂರಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾವಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ? ಇಟ್ ಕಂಟೈನ್ಸ್ ವಾಟರಿ ಫ್ಲೂಯಿಡ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಪ್ಲೂರಲ್ ಫ್ಲೂಯಿಡ್ ವಿಚ್ ಲ್ಯೂಬ್ರಿಕೇಟ್ಸ್ ದ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್ಸ್. ಪೆರಿಯಾಸ್ಟಿಯಂ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ನೆನ್ಪಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಬಿ ಆಸ್ಕ್ಡ್. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಔಟರ್ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಬೋನ್. Periosteum. Perichondrium andre which surrounds the cartilage. So here we have cartilage, here we have cartilage, right? So in the thoracic cavity we have cartilage. So it covers the cartilage. Yaudu perichondrium. Pericardium andre eno? The membrane that encloses pericardial cavity containing the vertebrate heart. So it covers the vertebrate heart. Okay. So the pleural membrane is a heart. Then periosteum is a bone, perichondrium is a cartilage, then pericardium, cardium. So it is related to heart. Okay, this is about the first question. Next, skin is an accessory organ of respiration in which of the following animal? Human, frog, rabbit, lizard. Skin ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ರೆಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್ ನ ಒಂದು ಭಾಗ. ಯಾವ ಅನಿಮಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So what is your response on this? Yes, YouTube students, please do answer through the chat box. Yeah. Very good. Hema answered it quickly. What about others? Yes. Skin is an accessory organ of respiration in. ಬೇಗ. Okay, good. Tejaswini also answered it. So the right answer is option B, that is frog. Right. In addition to lungs, skin is also an organ of respiration in the frog. It is practically the only mode of respiration when the frog is underwater or when it is hibernating. So skin is richly supplied with the blood vessels and is permeable with the gases. That is why frog always stay near the water to keep their skin moist, so only they can respire. It is further kept moist by secretion of mucus from its gland. Okay, next. Select the correct events that occur during inspiration. Inspiration ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಸದ್ಯದಲ್ಲೇ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಯಾವ ಯಾವ ಇವೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್ ಆಗುವಾಗ? ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವೆನ್ ದ ಏರ್ is getting inside, what will happen? Contraction of diaphragm, contraction of external intercostal muscles, pulmonary volume decreases, intrapulmonary pressure means within pulmonary or within lungs pressure increases. So what happens during the inspiration ಆದಾಗ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ? Yes, YouTube students. Yeah, come on. Select the correct events that occur during inspiration. Contraction of diaphragm, okay. Option D, Hema answered it, fine. What about others? Yeah, select the correct events that occur during inspiration. Tejaswini, fine. So let us check the answer here. The right answer is option number A, that is contraction of diaphragm occurs as well as contraction of external intercostal muscles occur during inspiration. So here you can see it is initiated or started by the contraction of diaphragm, and it increases the what we can say volume of the thoracic chamber. Contraction of the ribs, external intercostal muscle lifts up the ribs ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅವಾಗ. Sternum causing an increase in the volume of thoracic chamber. So overall ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ thoracic volume increase ಆಗತ್ತೆ. So which also increases the pulmonary or volume in the lungs. An increasing pulmonary volume decreases the ಇಲ್ಲಿ intrapulmonary pressure ಅಂದ್ರೆ within lungs pressure ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗತ್ತೆ to less than atmosphere. That is why air will enter from the atmosphere inside our body. Okay, so this is the answer. Next question. Tidal volume and expiratory reserve volume of an athlete. ಒಬ್ನ ಅಥ್ಲೀಟ್ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ಅಥ್ಲೀಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 500 ml tidal volume ಇದೆ. Expiratory reserve volume 1000 ml ಇದೆ. What will be his expiratory capacity if the residual volume is 1200 ml? Before that, so let me check whether we have the concept of tidal and residual volume here. Okay, I think it is there in the answer itself. Let me check that. Okay, so let us check. So here you can see a formula which is called as expiratory capacity. So this is the main formula. Please note it down. Expiratory capacity means what? Tidal volume and expiratory reserve volume. So what is tidal volume here? 500 ml. What is the reserve volume here? That is expiratory reserve volume 1000 ml. So overall the expiratory capacity, how much he will expire, expire andre how much he will exhale out alva. So that is nothing but 1500 ml. So the expiratory capacity is equal to tidal volume plus ERV, expiratory reserve volume. So the answer is 1500 ml. Next question, select the correct statement anta ide. Okay, expiration occurs due to external intercostal muscles. Intrapulmonary pressure is lower than the atmospheric pressure during inspiration. Inspiration occurs when atmospheric pressure is less than intrapulmonary pressure. Expiration is initiated due to contraction of diaphragm. So, which is a correct statement among this? Yeah, who is going to answer this question? Yes, YouTube students. Select the correct statement among this. So, why expiration occurs, whether it is caused due to external intercostal muscles, okay, then intrapulmonary pressure andre within the lungs ಅಥವಾ thoracic cavity pressure ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಈಸ್ ಲೋವರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ದ ಅಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಫೆರಿಕ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್. ಇನ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್ ಆಗುವಾಗ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ಗಿಂತ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್ ಆಗುವಾಗ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರು ಒಳಗಡೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ಗಿಂತ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. Then expiration is initiated due to contraction of diaphragm. Just recall, inspiration ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ಆ ಡೈಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ರೀಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಯಾವಾಗ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಯಾಫ್ರಗಮ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ, ದಟ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರೀಕಾಲ್. ಯಾ, ಲೆಟ್ ಮಿ ನೋ ದ ಆನ್ಸರ್. Okay, Tejaswini answered it. Okay. Hema answered it. Okay, na? So while choosing options for such questions, please do see the question properly. They have asked the correct statement. Most of the time, we will be choosing incorrect statement. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ most of the question incorrect statement ಅನ್ನ choose ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ questions ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾವು ತಪ್ಪಾದ ಒಂದು options ಅನ್ನ ಹುಡುಕ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೇವೆ. But they asked here correct statement. So one of you answered it as option B, one of you answered it as option C. Let us check the answer here. The right answer is option B. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಪಲ್ಮನರಿ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್, ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರೋ ಪ್ರೆಷರು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆದಾಗ ಹೊರಗಿನ ಗಾಳಿ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಎಂಟರ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಅವರ್ ಬಾಡಿ. ಸೊ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ರೈಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಸಿ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, inspiration occurs when atmospheric pressure is less than intrapulmonary pressure. No, inspiration ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಒಳಗಡೆ ಗಾಳಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಗಾಳಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಗಾಳಿ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋಗತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಬಿ ಇಸ್ ಅ ರೈಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಬಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್, ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ದ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಗಿವನ್ ಕಾಲಮ್ 1 with those in a given column 2. Select the correct option given below. So column 1 ಈ ರೀತಿ ಇದೆ, tidal volume, inspiratory reserve, expiratory reserve, residual volume. So this is the column 1. Then column 2 we have 2500 to 3000, 1100 to 1200, 500 to 550, 1000 to 1100 ml. So we have to match column 1 and column 2. Then we have to see these options. Okay, we have to see these options. Fine. So before that, let me just tell you regarding tidal volume, inspiratory reserve, expiratory reserve. Just a minute. Just a minute. Okay, here we have a CET notes. So here you can see respiratory volume and capacities. Okay, so here you can see here tidal volume anta ide. So what do you mean by tidal volume? During normal respiration ಅಂದ್ರೆ inhalation ಮತ್ತೆ exhalation ಆಗುವಾಗ the amount of air inspired, how much amount of air has been taken inside, okay, then expired, ಎಷ್ಟು amount of air ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಿದೆ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಿದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ ಟೈಡಲ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಪ್ರಾಕ್ಸಿಮೇಟ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದು 500 ml ಇರುತ್ತೆ. A healthy human being inspires or expires 6000 to 8000 ml. ಹೌದಾ, ಅಪ್ರಾಕ್ಸಿಮೇಟ್ಲಿ 500 ml ಟೈಡಲ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದು ಮಿನಿಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟು ml ಟೈಡಲ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತೇವೆ? 6000 to 8000 ml. Then when we come to the inspiratory reserve volume ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ, the extra volume of air inhaled into the lungs during maximal inspiration. ಸೊ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪೈರ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಸಪೋಸ್ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮ, ಓಕೆ, ಏನಂತಾರೆ ಇನ್ಹಲೇಷನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಲೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಏರ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಲಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಆ ಅಡಿಷನಲ್ ಏನ್ ಏರ್ ಹೋಗಿರತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಇನ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ದ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಏರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಲ್ಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಲಂಗ್ಸ್, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ಗಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಏರು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ, ಓಕೆ, ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ಫೋರ್ಸಿಬಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೈರೇಷನ್, ಫೋರ್ಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೈರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೇವೆ, ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ರೇಂಜ್ 1000 to 1100 ml ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್. ಸೊ ನಮಗೀಗ ಎರಡು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿದೆ, ಟೈಡಲ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ 6000 to 8000 ml ಪರ್ ಮಿನಿಟ್, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್ಗೆ 500 ml ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮು 1000 to 1100 ml ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ನು ರೆಸಿಡಿಯಲ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಏರ್ ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಲಂಗ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಎಷ್ಟು ಗಾಳಿ ಉಳಿಯತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಲಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ as residual volume. Then when we come to the vital capacity, the maximum volume of air moved in and out of the lungs. So overall ಎಷ್ಟು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಟ್ಟ ಇನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏರ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಿದೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಿದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ವೈಟಲ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಓಕೆ, ದೆನ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸಿ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ, ಟೋಟಲ್ ಲಂಗ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ. ಯು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಟ್ ಡೌನ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಪರ್ಸನ್ಸ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಟು ಇನ್ಸ್ಪೈರ್ ದ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಏರ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ಅದು ಯಾವ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ಇನ್ಸ್ಪೈರೇಟರಿ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಟೈಡಲ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಟೈಡಲ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ. ಫಂಕ್ಷನಲ್ ರೆಸಿಡ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ರೆಸಿಡ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಏನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? someone annotated here. Okay, just a minute. Total lung capacity ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ at the end of forced inspiration the accommodation of air in the volume in the lungs. So ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು total lung capacity ಅಂತಾನು ಕರಿತೇವೆ. So this is about the capacities and the volumes. ನೆನಪಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಓಕೆನಾ? Fine. So let us come to the point here. Where is that question? Just a minute. Yeah. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ಏನೇನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವ್ರು ನಮ್ಗೆ. ಟೈಡಲ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ದೆನ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ರೆಸಿಡ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಹೇಮಾ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಡ್ ಇಟ್, ಗುಡ್. ವಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಅದರ್ಸ್? ಎಸ್ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಯಾ ಬೇಗ. Hema answered it. What about others? Okay, let us check the answer here. The right answer is option B. ಏನದು? See here, tidal volume, that is 3 ಅಂತ ಇದೆ, 500 to 550 ml. So this is A. Okay. Then we have one, that is inspiratory reserve. So that will be always 2500 to 3000 ml. Expiratory reserve ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? Fourth one, 1000 to 1100 ml. Then residual volume always 1100 to 1200 ml. So this is of D. Yeah. So this is how you have to match. And first when you learn the definition na, definition ಅನ್ನ learn ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ನೆನಪಿದ್ರೆ you can calculate. Next question. Lungs are made up of air-filled sacs, the alveoli. They do not collapse even after forceful expiration because of. So when we see the diagram of our what we can say respiratory system, so we have lungs, right? So we have two lungs. So lungs ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ? The bronchus and bronchioles will be there. ಹೌದಾ? Bronchioles end ಅಲ್ಲಿ we have a balloon sac or a air sacs which are called alveoli. So alveoli ತುಂಬಾ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಇವನ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್, ಯಾವಾಗ ನೀವು ತುಂಬಾ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಗಾಳಿಯನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟಾಗ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕೊಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಸ್. ವೈ? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು inspiratory reserve volume, tidal volume, expiratory reserve volume, residual volume. Ranjita answered it. Hema answered it. Very good. Yeah, what about others? ಯಾಕೆ ಕೊಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಸ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅದು? Okay. So the right answer is here not expiratory reserve volume. It is due to the residual volume ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಏನು residual volume ಅಂದ್ರೆ? Volume of air which remains in the lungs after the most powerful forceful expiration. ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೂ ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ಲಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೆಲವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದಷ್ಟು ಗಾಳಿ ಉಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿರತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ರೆಸಿಡ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಅಂತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಇದರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ? It enables the lungs to continue exchange of gases even after maximum exhalation. So ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದ ಗಾಳಿ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರುವ ಗಾಳಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡತ್ತೆ? ಲಂಗ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಅನುವು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೊ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ದಿಸ್ the lungs or the what we can say the alveoli will not collapse. It is due to residual volume. Expiration ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ expiratory reserve volume ಅಂತ ತುಂಬಾ ಸಲ ನಾವು ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಅದನ್ನ. ಓಕೆನಾ? But it is not the answer. It is due to residual volume. Right? So next question. Lungs do not collapse between breaths and some air always remains in the lungs which can never be expelled because. So lungs do not collapse. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ, lungs will not collapse. Why? It is due to residual volume. ಸೊ ಯಾವಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟೇ ನೀವು ಗಾಳಿಯನ್ನ ಹೊರಗೆ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ಲಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದಷ್ಟು ಗಾಳಿ ಉಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿರತ್ತೆ. ವೈ? ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಲಂಗ್ಸ್. There is a negative intrapleural pressure pulling at the lung walls. There is a positive intrapleural pressure. Pressure in the lungs is higher than the atmospheric pressure. Yeah. Some air always remains in the lungs. ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದ ಗಾಳಿ ಲಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರತ್ತೆ. Which can never be expelled ಅಂದ್ರೆ which can never be sent out. ಯಾಕೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಇರತ್ತಾ, ಅಥವಾ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಪ್ಲ್ಯೂರಲ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್, ಪ್ಲ್ಯೂರಲ್ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್ ಗಳ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಇರುವ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೆಷರು ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ವಿಚ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಲಂಗ್ ವಾಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಪ್ಲ್ಯೂರಲ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಲಂಗ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೈಯರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ದ ಅಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಫರಿಕ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್. Yes. Hema answered it. Tejaswini answered it. Good. So So the right answer is here option B, that is there is a negative intrapleural pressure. ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ intrapleural pressure ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಆಫ್ ಏರ್ ವಿದಿನ್ ಪ್ಲೂರಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾವಿಟಿ. ಪ್ಲೂರಾ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು, ದ ಲೇಯರ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಎನ್ಕ್ಲೋಸಸ್ ದ ಲಂಗ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಎರಡು ಪ್ಲೂರಲ್ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಹೌದಾ? ಆ ಪ್ಲೂರಲ್ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಜಾಗ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಪ್ಲೂರಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾವಿಟಿ ಅಂತ. ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ಗೆ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಪ್ಲೂರಲ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್. ಯಾಕೆ? ವಿಚ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ as a suction to keep the lungs inflated. ಸೊ ಅದೇನ್ ಮಾಡತ್ತೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಗಾಳಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡತ್ತೆ, ಲಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಯಾವಾಗೂ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕುಂಚಿತವಾಗಿ ಇಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ನಾಟ್ ಸ್ವೋಲನ್. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸಾರಿ, ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವೋಲನ್, ಅದು ಅದೇ ಶೇಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋ ಹಾಗೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡತ್ತೆ, ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡತ್ತೆ. ದೆನ್ ದ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಪ್ಲೂರಲ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಇಸ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು 3 ಮೇನ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್. ಒಂದು, ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಲ್ವಿಯೋಲಾರಿ ಫ್ಲೂಯಿಡ್. ಅಲ್ವಿಯೋಲಾರಿದಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಲೂಯಿಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ಆ ಫ್ಲೂಯಿಡ್ ಆ ಮೆಂಬ್ರೇನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ದೆನ್ ಇಲಾಸ್ಟಿಸಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ದ ಲಂಗ್ಸ್, ಇಲಾಸ್ಟಿಸಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ದ ಥೊರಾಸಿಕ್ ವಾಲ್. ಸೊ ಇವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೂಡ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ, ಇಂಟ್ರಾಪ್ಲೂರಲ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವಿಟಿಯನ್ನ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ. ಸೊ ನಾರ್ಮಲಿ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಪ್ಲೂರಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಪಲ್ಮನರಿ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ which is called transpulmonary pressure. Don't worry regarding this. Just remember intrapleural pressure negative ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅಲ್ಲಿ lungs collapse ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Some air will be there inside the lungs. Next question. Which one of the following is a possibility for most of us in regard to breathing by making a conscious effort? So ಏನ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು, for most of us ಅಂದ್ರೆ one can breathe out air totally without oxygen. One can breathe out air through eustachian tube by closing both nose and mouth. One can consciously breathe in and breathe out by moving diaphragm alone without moving the ribs at all. The lungs can be made fully empty by forcefully breathing out all air from them. So ಯಾವ ಕೆಳಗಿನ ಯಾವ ಒಂದು ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇದೆ ನಮಗೆ, which can be done by us consciously ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಎಫರ್ಟ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಕೆಳಗಿನ ಯಾವುದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಬಹುದು? ಎಸ್, ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಇದು. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಎಸ್ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, okay, let us check the answer here. So the answer is here option B. One can breathe out air through eustachian tube by closing both nose and mouth. Okay. Next question. Listed below are 4 respiratory capacities and 4 jumbled respiratory volumes. Okay, it is similar. Next question. Okay. What is vital capacity of our lung? Vital capacity ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Just now we discussed total lung capacity ಅಂತ discuss ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಹೌದಾ? So inspiratory reserve volume plus expiratory reserve volume, total lung capacity minus residual volume, inspiratory reserve volume plus tidal volume, total lung capacity minus expiratory reserve volume. So what is the vital capacity of our lungs? ಏನು ವೈಟಲ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ರೆಫರ್ ಯುವರ್ ನೋಟ್ಸ್, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ರೆಫರ್ ಯುವರ್ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್. ವಾಟ್ ಡು ಯು ಮೀನ್ ಬೈ ವೈಟಲ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ? ಎಸ್, Any answers? Hema answered it. Okay. So the right answer for this is option B, that is total lung capacity minus residual volume anta. Okay. So here vital capacity andre enu? Amount of air which one can inhale and exhale with maximum effort. So ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ? Vital capacity ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಹೌದಾ? It is the sum of tidal volume, inspiratory reserve volume and expiratory reserve volume. ಯಾವುದು vital capacity ಅಂದ್ರೆ? ಹೌದಾ? So while total lung capacity is the total amount of air present in the lungs and the respiratory passage after a maximum inspiration. So ಅದೇನಾಗತ್ತೆ, it is the sum of vital capacity and residual volume. So total lung capacity can be given as vital capacity plus residual volume. ಹೌದಾ? So total lung capacity minus residual volume also gives you vital capacity. Okay, so this is regarding the formula. Next question. Which one of the following statement is incorrect? ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವ ಯಾವ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ತಪ್ಪಾಗಿದೆ? The principle of counter current flow facilitates respiration in gills of fishes. Okay, the residual air in lungs slightly decreases the efficiency of respiration in mammals. The presence of non-respiratory air sacs increases the efficiency of respiration in birds. In insects, circulating body fluids serve to distribute oxygen to tissues. So which of the following statement is correct? Yeah. Counter current flow facilitate, okay, gills of fishes. Any answer? Okay. Hema Tejaswini answered it. Let us check the answer here. The right answer here is option B. Residual air in lungs slightly decreases efficiency of respiration in mammals. Next question. When 1500 ml air is in the lungs, it is called. ಯಾವಾಗ 1500 ml air ನಮ್ಮ lungs ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ? Residual volume, inspiratory reserve volume, vital capacity, tidal volume. What it is called as? When 1500 ml air is in the lungs, it is called as. Tell me. Tejaswini answered it. Okay. So let us check the answer. Option A, that is, it is called as what? Residual volume. Let us proceed to the next question. In a man and mammals, man ಮತ್ತೆ mammals ಅಲ್ಲಿ air passes from outside into lungs through what? ಆ passage ಅನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು. Nasal cavity, larynx, pharynx, trachea, bronchi and alveoli. Nasal cavity, larynx, pharynx, trachea, bronchioles and alveoli. I'm sorry. Nasal cavity, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchioles, bronchi and alveoli. nasal cavity, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, and alveoli. So you just have to mention which is the passage of air in mammals as well as man. Very easy question. If you know that diagram, you can definitely answer this question. Yes. Yes, dear students, come on. Yeah. Okay. So the right answer for this is ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಡಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನೇಸಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾವಿಟಿಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಫ್ಯಾರಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಲ್ಯಾರಿಂಗ್ಸಿಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ದೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ಪಾಸಸ್ ಟು ಟ್ರೆಕಿಯಾ, ಬ್ರಾಂಕೈ ಅಂಡ್ ಬ್ರಾಂಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಆಸ್ ವೆಲ್ ಆಸ್ alveoli, right? So this is about the parts of the respiratory system, passage of air ಆಯ್ತು. Next question, the partial pressure of oxygen in the alveoli of the lungs. alveoli partial pressure of oxygen is equal to that in blood, is more than that in blood, is less than that in blood, less than that of carbon dioxide. Okay, the partial pressure of oxygen in the alveoli of a lung. So alveoli dalli ಏನು ಕೆಲಸ ಆಗತ್ತೆ? What is the function which is done by alveoli? So there what happens? Exchange of gases takes place. ಅಲ್ವಾ? Alveoli region ಅಲ್ಲಿ exchange of gases ಆಗತ್ತೆ. Means exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. So ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆ alveoli ದಲ್ಲಿ what will be the partial pressure of oxygen ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. What will be the answer here? Yes. Okay. So the right answer is here option B, more than that in the blood. So partial pressure of oxygen ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ alveoli ದಲ್ಲಿ 104 mmHg ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Whereas it is 40 mmHg in deoxygenated blood and 95 mmHg in oxygenated blood. So alveolar air ದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಏನು partial pressure of oxygen 104 mm per Hg. Fine. So these are the few questions on breathing and exchange of gases. Okay. So in the next session, we will start with the another physiology concepts. If you want more questions on it, you have the videos of previous year videos also. And again, the CET classes will be handled or will be taken from the month of March. Okay. There also you can attend the class and you can get many more multiple choice questions. Okay. So let me end up the session here. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye-bye.